Hi, this is Dave with DRH Acrylic Creations. Today we're going to play some games with a blower in my hair dryer. First color going down is Waterfall. This is a TLP, or this little pigment color, and it's fairly new to my box. And so this is actually probably the second time I've used it. Beautiful shade of blue, wonderful shimmer. Next down is going to be Violet Rain. Again, it's another little Piggy pigment. Now these are mixed. When I pull them out, they're dry, and I'll explain that in just a second. This is Indigo by Matisse, and what I do with those pigments, they have to be wet before I can add them to my pouring medium. So this is Honeycomb, and this is by this little Piggy. And all of them are dry, so they get wet with the Josonia varnish, and then I add them to my pouring medium. So it's a little game you have to play for consistencies with them. Okay, this is Deja Vu. Out of all the pigments I have there, that is one of the only opaque pigments. It's because it's a fluorescent or a neon color. Okay, I'm setting up my cell activators here. This is a little bit of an experiment for me. This is phthalo turquoise, and I'm using it as a cell activator. It's semi-transparent, and I really didn't know what was going to happen with this because I generally don't go that route. On top of that, I'm going to put titanium white. Both of this is by Amsterdam. The phthalo turquoise was by Golden. The reason I don't do anything other than opaque is because I didn't think they would hold up, but I think you'll see here in just a second how well it works. Okay, now I'm going to just blow it out, and I'm not trying for a bloom in this sense, although the name of this is this technique is called a deconstructed bloom. What I'm going more for here in my mind is a Dutch pour kind of look. So I've spread it out, and I'm waiting for the cell activators to open up. Seen some hard lines, and I decided I want to break those up just a little bit. So I picked up my skewer and just started playing in the paint just a little bit while I waited for those cell activator areas to open up just a little bit more. Now this is as you probably noticed at the beginning, this is a second pour on this canvas. The first time, it wasn't what I was looking for. And so this is my second shot on it for this session. Now we're getting to the point where I can start stretching. I've got plenty of paint on this canvas, but because I started some time ago, the paints are now starting to get a skin on them, so I'm having a little bit of a problem with that. So I'm moving the paint around, trying to get not only canvas coverage, but I'm also trying to work with my composition. I have an idea of the look I want, but this is because you're stretching out cells, and you're stretching out what it started to be. You really have to kind of watch this. You have to work with the composition. That's the good thing about this technique, and it's also the tricky thing about this technique. If you're interested in finding out how I mix my paints, mix my pigments, my cell activators, or anything else that I do on my videos, you can find that information in a series of videos that I have that I call the 101 How-To series. And I've just listed above here. You can see that phthalo turquoise. It just really, I was dubious about using it, and now that I have used it, I'm going to start experimenting with some more of my semi-opaque or semi-transparent paints, see how well they work. That Deja Vu is this little Piggy. It's their attempt at, or their version of magenta, and that's how I use it, as a magenta. It's a very flexible color. It doesn't just look neon. It's very useful. And as I say, this is sped up just a little bit, so it looks like I'm moving the paint real fast, but I'm not. It's very slow. Pulled up my can because that whole end down at the end has picked up a skin, and the paint is just folding over folding under, and so I wanted to save some of that area. So I picked up the paint for that purpose, just to give it something to flow across. This is one of my insomnia pours. When I can't sleep, often I'll get up and do some painting. It'll help relax me enough to be able to get to sleep. And it worked for last night. This really did help. There was so much paint on my area here. My silicone mat is just not liking me very much. Now it's time to spin this, get some more of this paint off. If I don't get enough of it off, you risk the chance of cracking and crazing. And it's not really a look I'm fond of, so it's important to get as much of the paint off as I can. And it's kind of you're walking a tightrope to getting enough paint off and keeping your composition. And sometimes you have to sacrifice parts of your composition you like in order to make sure that it is usable. What I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get that bottom section, get it off the canvas as much as I can. The same thing's going to be on this side. So, rule of thumb is I generally will tilt off, and before it has a chance to continue to pour, I bring it back center again so I can save at least part of what is there. That stuff at the top right is the composition there. What the play of colors is really something else, and I'm hoping to be able to hold on to some of that. Piece is starting to take shape. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Sorry that it's tilted away from you. At this point, it's time for the flyover. You can see that a lot of my cells did hold their integrity as far as their perimeters. And I got some very nice mixing of colors. The blues and the purples. And that honeycomb just really set everything off. Yeah. If you found today's video useful, I'd invite you to give me a like, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and ring the bell for notifications of videos that I'll put out. It's my goal to put out at least 2 per week, and I'm hoping you're finding them both enjoyable and useful. Thanks for being here. Bye now.